This is week 5 of the spring trimester, and this week was a really big week for me because I finished my figure painting and my cast painting. Okay, so for my figure painting, I'm really happy with how it ended. I spent this last week just working on all of the weaker areas so I could try and get a really strong painting throughout. And most of what I did was edge work. It was edges of whole forms, edges of shapes within forms, and then the edges of the big light shape and shadow shape. I did a lot with the portrait. Before, the portrait was kind of like a blocked in portrait. So the eyes, nose, mouth, and ear, I guess all the features were just really sharp. So I just worked on the edge work on that, and I think I improved it a lot in the last week, which is really good. And I also repainted his whole stomach, which was actually pretty terrifying. Magda pointed out that I had the light going down his stomach pretty evenly, and then it transitioned into the shadow. I don't think that was too harsh, but she said if I put a darker halftone, especially around his navel, his lower stomach, that would make his stomach look more like Brian's. So I ended up having to repaint the whole stomach, which was just scary because I think it was good what I had before, but I'm really glad that I did that because I think I made it look a whole lot better. Okay, and then finally I did a lot of work this week with his feet and the area around his feet. I do think though that this is the weakest part of the painting. I think in all of my figure work consistently I am having trouble getting the feet to look like they're really strongly planted on the same plane. I do think though that this painting of Brian, I definitely did the best that I've done with my other figures. I guess I'm still just learning how to do that. So yeah, I hope that my next paintings I'll just get better and better at figuring out how to do that. Okay, now for my cast. I'm so excited that I finished this cast. And then in this last week for it, just like how I was doing with the figure, I was really working on transitions, making sure that nothing was too jumpy, especially in the light areas. I was really working on the transitions in the light areas. An interesting thing that Magda said, just a way to like flip it in your mind to think of it, was to think of the light being like a liquid. So thinking of where the light or the liquid would gather most, which would be the brightest area, where it flows down the face, and then where it dissipates into the shadows. And so thinking of it like a liquid, it just it helped me really push spreading the light out. So I definitely think I improved the transitions in the lights a lot this last week. And so this cast was a grisaille palette, meaning that I had it's black and white, but then I also use raw umber. So the raw umber lets you do temperature shifts, so you're just working with value and temperature. But Matt just told me that he's graduating me on to a limited palette, meaning that I get to add yellow ochre and cadmium red light, which I'm so excited. I'm so excited to start getting to play around with color and see what that's like. So I'm super excited to start my next cast. And I will be making separate videos like always on my finished projects. So I'll have one of the figure painting of Brian and then this cast painting, and I'll talk more about them, kind of like the big overall takeaways of what I really learned what to do with them. And then also I'll show a lot of details and close-ups and of the painting surface so you guys can see that.